Wake up. Let's look at some Bitcoin shots. Nothing has changed.
Shout out, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yes, we got the tank top on this morning. What's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Dan said he hates the morning. He already got me laughing, man. He said, God, I hate the morning, as we're trying to get him pumped up. But it is what it is. What's going on, Mike? What's going on, DJ? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everyone? You hate the morning? I still wonder if Jordan hung out with everyone in Vegas. I just hang out in the bathroom. We did, I guess, a little bit of both. But you guys don't know the full story, and we're going to keep it that way, okay? But anyways, what is going on? So, Bitcoin had the M formation back down to the downside. We had the little smiley face right there. We came back down. We took the smiley face, and now we're kind of just chilling at the bottom of the range. So, what is, what can we expect next, man? What can we expect next? We know altcoins are, sort of bleeding against BTC. We'll take a look at, total 3 market cap, DXY. We'll take a look at altcoins and stuff like that today. But Bitcoin, I mean, really, guys, it's just stuck in the range still. I mean, before we get into the short-term time frame stuff, we're still just stuck in our range, right? We still just got horizontal support coming across here and a downtrend of resistance. So, not much has really changed. We're still in our range at the end of the day. But just want to note that we're still in the range before we jump on in. What's going on? What's going on? Good morning. We got our coffee here. Yes, I got a 1980s coffee mug. That's how we do it out here. Yeah, if you guys could smack up that like button. Let's get more peeps in here. Let's smack up that like button. I really, really appreciate it. If there's anything you can do, you can smack up that like button. Hamilton, I'm not eating the socks, my friend, but we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so we came back down to the smiley face, right? We know we had up here last night. We were sort of right on this candle right here. We knew we had this vector candle looking left. We had this blue vector candle looking left. And Bitcoin usually comes back down and takes those vector candles. Not only that, but we had a big wick to the downside here. And we usually come back down and take those wicks in the short-term time frame. Bitcoin, classic M formation, right back down, take the blue vector candle. Let's friggin' get busy. If you shorted BTC at the 50 EMA again, you killed it. I mean, the move has just been shorting BTC at the 50 EMA if you are a trader. That's sort of been the move at the moment. Now we kind of find ourselves back at the bottom of the range. And this is an interesting range, guys. A very, 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 very interesting range. Rodney said this is shaping up to be a big dump. I agree, Rodney. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly why this dump is different than the last couple ones that we've seen over the last couple weeks. And why I think that this could be the time where Bitcoin comes back down and breaks the support. I'll tell you guys exactly why, right? You might not like this. Okay? But we're going to go over that this morning. It's the reason why I do think so is because you guys know we've been talking about, like, we've came back up, tested the 50 EMA, got pounced to the downside, right? Came back up, tested the 50 EMA, trounced. Came back up, screwed. Came back up, effed. Came back up, screwed. Trounced. Poodoo. We've gotten just destroyed by the 50 EMA consistently. All right? Now we find ourselves back at the bottom of the range. The difference between this time and the previous times is we don't have any signs that we have to come back up and retrace. I know Bitcoin's retracing right now. Just be careful on this little retrace for BTC. The thing that will bring BTC up is a green NASDAQ today on a Friday. So that's kind of what we're hoping for the bullish side is the NASDAQ holds up. The NASDAQ continues to be green like it has the last couple of days, and Bitcoin continues to follow it. But what's different about this one is the previous times, right? We had vector candles that we had to come up and back up and take, right? Let's go back and look at the last couple dumps that Bitcoin's had back down to the bottom of the range, right? Let's go look. So this time right here, we had a vector candle right here. Bitcoin but based off Tino's theory, shout out to my guy Tino. Make sure you guys go check him out after the stream. All right, he's going to stream after me. we usually come back up and retrace to take those. What did Bitcoin do? It came back up and retraced to it, right? This one we had vector candle here. We came back up and retraced to it, right? This one we had the white vector candle, came back up and retraced to it. This one we had the pink vector candle, came back up and retraced to it, right? Please bring Maya with the Java filter. Oh, it's absolutely hilarious, man. It looks absolutely hilarious. It's like Java's little girlfriend. It's actually, she's kind of cute with it on, but you know, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. All right, and then you also had this one right here. You came back down, it came back up and took it. The difference between now is we don't have anything to come back up and take, right? So are the market makers ready to move the price back down and take this wick that we're still waiting for, right? We came back down and took a little bit, but are we going to come back down and take this wick back down here? All right. That's sort of the question. He doesn't stream on Friday. Damn it, man. Damn it, man. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Rodney, Jordan is getting so smart. Glad you finally got educated and start spitting facts versus talking what the Moon Boys want to hear. Yeah, man. It was, I mean, hey, boring times. Boring times. You got to educate yourself, man. These are the times to educate yourself. But we also came back down to the smiley face on the 4-hour time frame. We came back down, took that wick on the 4-hour. Now we're just kind of waiting. We want to see. We're just chilling on support. We're waiting to see if the support holds. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, nothing's really going to change until we break out of this range. But you can see that the price action's getting smaller, right? We have, you know, smaller pumps and smaller dumps where the price action is getting constricted into this range. So, you know, to me, we're going to see a move. If we stretch this out, we're going to see a big move. And I know it sounds like a long time, but, you know, by June 5th, I think that we're going to see a pretty massive move here, you know, in one direction or the other. I'm still leaning to the downside, okay, at least short term before we continue back up. But that's still sort of the direction I see Bitcoin going, is back down to the downside, right? Yeah, that was freaking awesome, man. That was freaking awesome. All right, so Bitcoin's coming back up. I think, you know, we'll check on. I kind of want to go over everything, guys, and then we'll go back to the short-term time frames and kind of look at what Bitcoin's doing in the short-term time frames. Let's go. Hasn't it decoupled from the NASDAQ? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of decoupled from the NASDAQ. I mean, usually it's going to have days where, you know, Bitcoin's going to have days where it goes up, NASDAQ goes down, NASDAQ goes down, Bitcoin goes up. It's going to have those days, right? It's going to have those days. But at the end of the day, you know, it's going to follow it as far as a macro trend, right? So just like with the DXY, like the DXY has been going down with Bitcoin going down as well. It's not always going to be, you know, cut and dry. You're going to have days or even weeks where it doesn't really couple. So if we look at here, guys, this is why I'm still convinced that we're going to see downside before upside, right? I can't, I know I say it every single day, but I'm going to continue to say it, and it's been playing out so far, is I can't see Bitcoin having a rally to the upside, at least at the moment. I do think we're going to have a relief rally pretty soon. In my personal opinion, I think we're going to have a relief rally pretty soon. What's going on, DJ? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, guy. Hamilton, what's going on? Love these streams from working at home. Hey, man, I want you guys to just listen and hang out, man. It's what I like the morning ones, man, because I listen. In the morning, I'm a little bit more chill and, you know, a little more mellow, I guess you could say. You guys know I get crazy at nighttime, but in the morning, I'm a little bit more mellow as I kind of drink my coffee and wake up here. But, you know, I can't get excited for a rally just yet until Bitcoin resets this daily stock RSI. If you go back in the past, I mean, you're not going to be able to find a Bitcoin rally that starts with the daily stock RSI tops out. You're not going to go back in the past. You're not going to find a rally that starts with the daily stock RSI topped out, which is why I do think we need to reset it a little bit, right? I do think Bitcoin needs to come back down, right? Ultimately take the rest of this wick, right? Reset the daily stock RSI, and then it's going to allow itself to have more room to come back up and eventually have that relief rally, which I do think is coming relatively soon. I do think we're going to have a relief rally back up to, you know, the mid to high 30Ks, in my personal opinion, within the next couple weeks. I'm just waiting on that dump, man. The dump's taking longer than I expected. So, I mean, I do think we're going to have a relief rally. Before ultimately we'll kind of decide what we do from there. Like, do we continue up or do we get rejected? That's sort of the question. Let's see. What's going on, Crypto Bag? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let's see. Let's see. Fleshed. What's everyone saying in the chat? What's everyone saying in the chat? Keep spitting facts, Jay. Thank you, man. I'm trying. But yeah, that's the direction I continue to see Bitcoin continue in this direction. You know, it's taking longer. It's definitely it's bleeding out the people who just get bored, right? It's bleeding those people out. It loves to bleed those people out. But I still see this general direction for BTC. A dump, but an initial rally back to the upside. Because we do have a vector candle back up here that still hasn't to be taken. And I do think we're going to come back up and take that liquidity. Or the whales are going to come back up and take that liquidity before we move back down. Now, a couple interesting things, man. Right? Before we get back into the charts. A couple different interesting things. If we look at some whales, we know we like to look at the whales sometimes. We had a couple whales DCA yesterday. Now, I'll continue to say just because the whales DCA does not mean the price is going to go up right now, right? It can still take weeks or even months for the price to react to this kind of stuff. But we got some interesting whales, man. We got the third biggest whale in Bitcoin, who owns 127 BTC, did buy yesterday. And he actually bought about, this is just sort of interesting stuff we can look at. I like looking at this stuff, okay? So get at me. He bought 481 BTC, $14 million. I know that's like, in the grand scheme of things, what's $14 million among friends? Shout out to Ben. Shout out to my guy, Ben Cowan, this morning. But yeah, he bought about 481 BTC. So that's very interesting. A couple other ones that did. I was looking through this earlier. We had this one right here, whale number 12. Whale number 12 bought some BTC yesterday. We had, what else is this? Whale number 23. This guy freaking buys and sells all the time. So I don't know if we can take that to the bank. Let's see, this one right here. Number 20, this guy right here. Whale number 25. Let's see, when did he buy me some BTC? So whale number 25. Let's see, did he actually do anything? No, he didn't actually buy. I like to go back and double check. Yeah, man. Actually, to be fair, not a lot of whales have been buying right now. At least the last 2 weeks. Not a lot of whales have been buying. Whale number 3 did, okay? And we'll check on the other one later maybe, but this is what it is. Michael Saylor? It's probably Saylor, man. That guy loves to buy stuff, man. Hell, so I like to look through that every now and then to kind of see what the top 100 whales are doing. It doesn't look like a lot of them are buying at the moment, man. I will say. On whale number 23, nice. That's what you're saying. All right, Bitcoin's got a slight move to the upside. So far we are holding the bottom support here. Like I said, just be careful. I'm not uber confident on this move. I'm definitely not uber confident on this move to the upside. We look at the 15-minute chart here. Yeah, we're making vector candles on the 15-minute, which you guys can see here. We came right to the 200 EMA. Just be careful on this move. We got some yellow vector candles, which means that you're usually going to come back down and take those, okay? You're usually going to come, not 100%. Nothing is 100% science, but it usually means at some point you could continue higher and come back to this range, but at some point you're going to come back down and take these candles here, or at least half of this candle on the 15-minute time frame. So we'll continue to watch this as the stream goes on there. But you do have some vector candles popping up there on the 15-minute time frame. Nothing on the hourly yet. The hourly's not really giving us any clues at the moment. But as soon as it does, I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking here. All right, let's go look at, say that, actually, one thing I want to look at, guys, total 3 market cap. And this is something I was looking at this morning as I was just kind of chilling. What do you guys think the chances are that total 3 market cap actually makes some type of wick-off accumulation pattern here, right, at this range, right? I was sort of looking at it, and I don't necessarily think this is a likely option, but what do you think of, total 3 market cap making some type of wick-off accumulation, something like this, which it still will bleed out over time, but ultimately ends up being an accumulation range? What do you guys think of the chances? Because if you got to look at, it's a smaller sample size. You're not looking at like a macro pattern here. But if you kind of compare last summer to our current price action up until this point, you can see here, you have, it's very, very low. It's very low sample size. But if you look at the big dip to the downside, right? And then the recovery, right? And then the move back, kind of the slower bleed back down, right? If you kind of look at kind of what we're looking at the moment, so far, it's very, very similar, right? You had the big drop off to the downside. You had kind of the slow, methodical move back up, and then the slower, methodical move back down. You had the close right at the wick, right? Right at the wick. Not quite yet. That's why I think we go lower here. And then you kind of retrace some back up, come back down, and that kind of starts the, at least the dead cat bounce. And maybe not a freaking bull market, but at least a little short. That kind of starts the wick off rally back to the upside. I don't know, man. Just a thought I had. We'll kind of monitor that. I don't know if that's a likely scenario, but something along the lines of altcoins start to come back down here a little bit more, make a slightly lower low, come back up, retrace, come back down again, right? And then that's when you get the dead cat bounce back to the upside, and then you pop back down, right? Something along those lines. We'll watch it kind of as that goes, but something I thought was kind of interesting. Something kind of interesting. What's going on, Elliot? Good to see you, man. David said, some chance it's called a double dome. Tesla did the same thing before it popped. Nice. Let's see. Jordan, stick to triangles and support resistance. Listen, man. I've been studying, all right? I've been studying. We're not gonna stick to the I guess they're not stupid. You can still trade using the the triangles and stuff, but I would think it's to me it's slightly less reliable than looking at I always think the best thing is now this, right? The hybrid system is awesome, and just looking at basic support resistance, man. Maybe nothing beats just looking at basic support resistance levels. All right. What else do we got? What else do we got, man? All right. So I know everyone's talking about the death cross. Oh my gosh, the death cross. Right? We had that death cross on May 13th. I guess the 3-day candle of May 13th. Right? It's been 14 days. Typically after we have that 3-day death cross, it takes BTC on average about 25 3-day candles to bottom. Okay? So right now we're about halfway. Which once again, it kind of matches with what my general thought process of the market is. That we'll see the bottom within the next month. I'll say within the next month to give it some leeway there. But within the next month, I see the bottom happening because we did get that death cross with the 200 EMA. 200 moving average crosses the 50 moving average on the 3-day chart, which historically and previous times, whenever you get that death cross, you do come back down to test the 200 SMA on the weekly. So we had that right here in 2018. That kind of started the big drop, right? You had that death cross, bop, right to the downside, right? You go back in time a little bit further, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. You have right here, you had the death cross, got the death cross, popped right to the downside, right? What's going on, Mike Dutch? Good to see you, man. Mad love from Traders Reality. What's going on, dude? What's going on? Shout out to Tino, man. He's a stud. My favorite person to watch by far right now. Not even freaking close. He's really the only person that I take seriously right now, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? All right, but yeah, you had the death cross right here, popped right to the downside. And it took, like we said, it took on average about 25 3-day candles. You're on 12. So you're about halfway there. So that still kind of lines up what I'm thinking, right? You have the death cross, bada bing, bada boom. I don't look at death crosses like, oh my God, oh my God, we had a death cross, it's over. No, I look at the death crosses like, all right, that means it's almost over, okay? That's just the way I sort of look at it. But yeah, we had that, popped. Still waiting for a little bit more downside. I mean, it is what it is. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It is what it freaking is. It is what it freaking is. All right. Let's see. What's going on, Lukesta? Good to see you, man. Dan, you gotta chill with the jokes this morning, man. You're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. Jordan, did you study in school or cram the night before? Oh, I was a crammer, man. I was a crammer. Oh, I got a 10-page paper. I'm doing it the night before. 100%. I am not doing it before. If a teacher gives me 2 weeks to do something, I am not touching that paper until the day before. Why would I do that? Now, what would the smart thing to do? Write 1 page a day so it's easier. But I like to make it hard on myself and do 10-page paper the night before. Probably even after going out, too. That was me back in the days. Or waking up early, all right, and doing it before class when I was hungover. I mean, that was just the way I was. Should I have done that? Probably not in hindsight, but hey, here I am. It works out in the end, I guess. All right, let's see. Cramming confirmed. I think people who cram, I have kind of a little bit of a hypothesis here. Okay. Why do I use the word hypothesis? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I think people who... We'll say this real quick. I think people who cram the night before are street smart. I think the people who do things way ahead of time are book smart. All right? Just my hypothesis. Take it for what you will. All right. Let's continue. So, let's continue. You can tell me if you agree or disagree in the chat. It is what it is. All right. Let's see. Do at midnight. It's true. Ross, all right, what you guys saying in here? Lupus became a member. What's going on, Lupus? Good to see you in the chat. It's always good to see you in here.
Bruh.
Joe said, should put limits at 200 week or wait for sideways accumulation just in case it falls through. I've been moving mine up. So every week that the 200 week moves up, I've moved mine slightly higher than the 200 week because, you know how that works. It's gonna get front run. Everyone's looking at the 200 week right now. It's gonna get front run. So I got my orders slightly above the 200 week. Slightly above. I mean, how much higher you want to put it above, that's up to you, right? That's up to you. But I got mine slightly above. All right. Let's continue on. Facts. That's a good point. True. Street smart over book smart, 100%. 100% I'll say this. People will disagree with me. I don't necessarily care. I think being street smart is better than being book smart. 100%. What's the point? Unless you're in some field that you need to be an expert in your field, or you need to be an expert, like a scientist or something like that. To me, being street smart and knowing how to talk to people, in my opinion, is much more important than knowing some random facts. Unless you're like a scientist or some shit like that. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion, but it is what it is. All right, let's continue on. So, the weekly time frame. I'm still waiting, right? I'm a bottom dweller right now. I am clearly a bottom dweller. By the way, guys, short-term Bitcoin getting a rejection off the 50 EMA on the 1-hour time frame. We love to get rejected off the 50 EMA, mostly on the 4-hour time frame, but also on the 1-hour time frame. We're getting a slight rejection off the 50 EMA. Let's see if we can get a close. We got 5 minutes until the close. Let's see if Bitcoin can get a close above the 50 EMA on the 1 hour. If it does, I see a move up to the 200 EMA at the very, very least here. Let me actually get rid of this M formation. We know the M formation. Everyone is coming now. We know the M formation played out yesterday. We came back down to take the blue vector candle here. Came back down to the smiley face. Bada bing, bada boom. It is what it is. Right now, I wouldn't have any trades in at the moment. I don't see something that I would be like, oh my gosh, I want to put a long or short in right now. To me, it's a waiting game, so I don't have any smiley faces at the moment. But if I have a prediction of where Bitcoin's going to go, I will put a smiley face on the chart. All right. What did I want to talk about here? Shiza. What was I going to talk about, man? Oh yeah. I'm still waiting for the 200 SMA, guys. I am buying. I'll tell you guys what I've been doing. I'll continue to stick by it. All right. Whenever Bitcoin's below 30K, if I'm having a good day, yes, I'm Dr. Seuss, I will throw some buy orders in. Why not, man? I'll buy some Bitcoin. I'll buy some ETH. Alts, I ain't touching with a 10-foot pole right now. But Bitcoin and ETH, I will continue to accumulate under 30K. I will accumulate more heavily between the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA. Especially the closer we get to the 200 SMA, that's when I'm going to be accumulating more heavily. Right now, we're still about 25% away from there. So, about 25% away from the 200 SMA. I still think we're going to go back down and touch that. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. The bags are ready for whatever pump comes. I mean, it is what it is if it doesn't happen. But for whatever reason, I just have this hunch that we're still coming back to the town of the 200 SMA. Just so many things pointing to that like $22,000, $23,000 level. You got to think it's going to come back down there, because every single time Bitcoin comes back down there in super bearish times, which, I know some people don't want to admit it's a bear market, but it is at the moment. As soon as we broke from that bear flag up at 40K, I mean, to me, it was confirmed. But, I still think we're going to come back down to test that 200 SMA and the 200 EMA for what it is. So that's where I'm going a little bit more heavily. I'm going to stick to that plan. I've been telling you guys, have a plan and stick to it. Don't copy me. Have your own plan. All right, I just want you guys to make a plan during sideways, because that's when you're the least emotional, right? If you're making plans when the market's pumping, guess what? You're not going to take profits because you're going to be greedy. If you're making plans when the market's dumping, guess what? You're not going to buy because you're going to be fearful. Make a plan during sideways action like now and stick to it, okay? Stick to your plan. Have conviction in your thoughts when you weren't fearful and greedy, all right? I'm telling you, you're going to be better off sticking to your gut feeling and sticking to your plan as before the market makes its move. But hey, who do I know? I'm just a pleb. John said, plan buy every day. Nice. Let's see. Hey, did alts bottom when BTC bottom in 2018? Did alts bottom when BTC bottom in 2018? We could check that, Brock, for sure, man. Did alts bottom? I mean, let's go look at total 3 market cap. That's going to give us the broader range of altcoins. Let's go check. Let's go bring to the weekly chart here. So the weekly chart. The one thing I do know, because I watched Ben Cowan's stream this morning. Well, the one he did last night, I watched this morning. He made a good point. Like in 2018, guys, really after this initial pump, Bitcoin had slight rallies, but altcoins didn't do shiza. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now, right? Altcoins aren't doing shiza. Bitcoin has a little move to the upside. I mean, altcoins don't do shiza, right? And as Bitcoin goes sideways, altcoins continue to get wrecked. Even when Bitcoin goes up, sometimes altcoins are getting wrecked. So here's the thing, man. I mean, altcoins bottomed on December 10th of 2018, right? Let's go see where Bitcoin bottomed, right? The week of December 10th. Let's go see where Bitcoin bottomed over here. Let's see. So Bitcoin bottomed on the week of December 10th. So they technically did bottom at the same week, okay? And I would be looking more at the week than the day, but they did bottom on the same week. Now, that makes sense, right? Because if Bitcoin hits a bottom and has a rally back up like it did right here, right? Altcoins are going to bounce too, right? Because altcoins are going to bounce when Bitcoin bounces. I mean, that's as simple as that. And until Bitcoin looks to have any strength, people aren't just not going to have any conviction in altcoins. It's hard to have conviction in altcoins when you see Bitcoin having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red weekly candles in a row. No one's going to look at this and go, oh my gosh, I have conviction in altcoins at the moment. Because they know if Bitcoin drops 10%, altcoins are dropping 20, 30% lower. If Bitcoin drops 20%, altcoins are dropping 50, 60% lower. Right? That's the sad reality of the market, man. So, yes, I do think altcoins will bottom when Bitcoin bottoms. But to me, this looks like a slow bleed, man. A slow bleed, which is a slow bleed to me is worse than just one big capitulation. Why? Because a big capitulation, you usually come back up and take it and take that liquidity back up. Right now, it's just a slow, consistent bleed on the weekly time frame, which is worse. Right? When you get the big moves to the downside, right? You usually see some retraces, right? Big move to the downside, retrace. Big move to the downside, retrace. Right now, it's just kind of a slow, consistent bleed. So, we'll see. M making me sad? Respect the M. Respect the M, man. These red weekly candles are helping Java learn how to count. Yeah. Respect the M. The M formation was the hourly time frame. The hourly time frame yesterday. Where we had the hit to the upside. We knew we had this blue vector candle down here. We had the hit to the upside, hit to the downside, hit to the upside. Bada bing, bada boom, right back down to the vector candle down here. Right now, like we said, there's not much on the charts. I wouldn't have any trade in right now. That's just the way I'm looking at it. But that's why I don't really I like to wait for what I like to wait for before I make any type of prediction. And I don't see anything right now that's telling me anything, except in the longer term time frames. Daily, it's pretty clear to me that we're going lower. Hourly, it's not much right now. Anything can happen in the short term time frames at the moment, I'd say. But we're waiting to see. So Bitcoin got rejected at the 50 EMA so far, right? You got the daily stocks coming up, about to be topped out. So just be careful right there. And the 4 hours not really giving us much. I mean, the 4 hours bottomed out. So we know every single time Bitcoin comes back down to the bottom of this range, it loves to come back up to the 50 EMA. So can it come back up to like 29,600? It surely can. It surely can. It's just Bitcoin struggles every time it comes back up to that range. So I'm gonna wait to see what happens at 29.6. In between there, it's not really much for me right at the moment. Not really much for me. Stock market, good news today. Yeah, we're waiting on that to open. Total 3. I'm continue to watch Total 3. Total 3's got me interested. Ethereum. So let's go check out ETH real quick. ETH finally got that move back down to take its wick. Pretty much every altcoin, and it's kind of I still think Bitcoin's going to do it because Bitcoin kind of came down to take the wick, but not as low as we thought, at least yet. Every altcoin came back down to take that wick on the left side, right? We saw Ethereum do it. We saw AVAX do it. We saw Solana do it. We saw pretty much all the big coins come back down to take the wick on the left side, and that's kind of what we're waiting for. So that first part of this kind of played out, right? We got that second leg to the downside. The question is, like, the problem is, I see here, right, with this W formation, the problem I see is, if Bitcoin dumps, that's going to kind of ruin everything on the altcoin charts. And that's why I don't think it's too important to look at altcoin charts right now, because it really doesn't tell you much, right? Bitcoin leads the show. We all know this. If it didn't, this would probably be a nice classic W formation. You get that retrace back to the upside. But right now, man, I don't know if I can trust this at the moment, right? I do think you get a slight retrace back up. If we actually look at the 4 hours, really not telling you that, to be honest. The daily, but here's the thing about the daily, guys. The daily doesn't have to play out right away, right? Just to give you guys an example of why the daily can sometimes take a long time to play out. You still have this vector candle up here on the daily, right? Back up here towards 2,900. We still haven't taken that yet, and it's been from the top to the bottom. It's already been 22 days, right? Do I think this gets played out eventually? Abso-freaking-lutely. I think you come back up and take this range at some point, but it can take a long time, and you're sort of getting another one popping up right here. Right now, you got another one popping up right here. It doesn't mean it has to play out right now, right? You can come lower before eventually coming back up and taking those ranges. So that's why watching BTC is obviously the most important thing. I think sometimes we get caught up and look at altcoins. So we got this pattern on altcoins, and it comes down to Bitcoin, man. It's really all it comes down to. Let's see. Stale double bottom. Very stale. Very stale. Let's see. If Bitcoin had that dump yesterday too, I would be more confident in altcoins having the double bottom. Just the issue is Bitcoin did not dump enough yet. That's the issue I'm having. That's the issue I'm having. Let's see. M's making me sad. Juicy Crab Dippelganger, what's up, man? Been working 70 to 80 hours a week to all OT is double time. My plan has to buy these juicy dips and hold cash for the bottom. Yeah, dude. That's there's no perfect strategy, but I think a combination of DCAing and also holding cash on the sidelines is the way to go, right? Don't go all in. Keep cash on the sidelines, right? But also, DCA here and there, right? There's nothing wrong with DCAing here and there, but make sure, I'm telling you, make sure you keep cash on the sidelines, man. The Uber bulls, which, I guess I am an Uber bull, but even I understand it's important to have cash on the sidelines, to not be all in crypto, man. Because here's the thing, all it's going to take right now, Bitcoin is bearish as hell. All it's going to take is one bad news, and you guys know when you get bad news in a bear market, you know what that does. All it's going to take is one bad news, and you want to be able to, if like that something does happen, you want to be able to take advantage. So make sure you have some spare, whatever it is, man. It doesn't have to be a lot, but have some spare cash on the sidelines in case something like that does happen, because it's always possible, right? If you're all in, the problem is if you're all in crypto and you don't have any cash on the sidelines, if you do get that 25-30% like capitulation candle and you can't take advantage, it's the worst feeling in the world. That is the worst feeling in the world. When you want to take advantage and you just can't do it because of life, right? So have some cash on the sidelines. Don't be going all in, and unless you're okay with not being able to take advantage if it goes lower, and you're just okay with just holding, right? Unless you're okay with that. All right. Let's see what else we got. What's going on, Felipe? Good to see you, man. What's going on, Lifer? Life is a stud, man. Holy shit, guys. Once again, go check out Lifer. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He goes live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday. Go check him out, guys. Go check him out. He'll go live right after me. He's a good dude. If I could talk, holy moly. He's a good dude. Go check him out. He goes live at 10. I can't freaking talk this morning, man. I can't talk. He's from Boston, too. And he's a little bit of a asshole. But he's a stud. He's a stud. You are funny, man. Thank you, Odin. I don't think I'm really being funny right now. But I appreciate if you think I'm funny at the moment. All right. So, what else can we check? I mean, we could check altcoins and stuff before we get the market open here. We looked at total 3. We can look at NASDAQ. I think, you know, the one thing that I'm looking for BTC that can maybe save the day for Bitcoin at the moment is, you guys see what the NASDAQ did. The NASDAQ has come back down to test the 200 EMA. All right. This has typically been a level where you do get some reversal, at least since, if you look back, I mean, at least since, let's go all the way back here. Am I really going to a concert tonight? Yes, I am. I thought it was yesterday. You know, I'm kind of an idiot, but it's okay. Ever since 2010, and I know this is not, like, everyone's comparing this to 2008, and it's going to be an absolute disaster. But ever since 2010, the 200 EMA has been the point where the NASDAQ has gotten reversals when it has big dips, right? I mean, just go look at the past. 2010, we had this big dip, right? 200 EMA was support. Right here in 2010, big move to the downside, 200 EMA, right to support, right? Right to support. You actually keep going up, 200 EMA, you bounce slightly above it, but you pretty much was support, right? With support here, you dip slightly below it in the pandemic crash, but I mean, that was the pandemic crash. You know, it is what it is. Right below the 200 EMA is support. So you're right at that right now. So this is sort of the bullish case for Bitcoin, is if the NASDAQ can get a reversal, Bitcoin follows. That's the bullish case. There's always a bullish and bearish case, but this is the bullish case. All right, so you're hoping for some, maybe not a reversal, but at least a bounce to the upside. I'm actually curious what Bitcoin, what the NASDAQ did back in 2008. Let's see. So in 2008, before you had the big crash, I mean, you went slightly below, bounced back above a couple times. It really wasn't anything significant to take from that. But the 200 EMA, even before 2008, was significant support. So I would say, if bearing we have some 2008 type crash, we want to hope that the 200 EMA holds based off previous history, right? If we zoom in a little bit on the daily time frame, we have the W formation starting to play out, right? W formation is there. Once again, it's like you want to get back above 11,982 there to really confirm the W reversal here, at least for a short-term rally. But the NASDAQ is the saving grace, right? That's the saving grace for BTC right now, is if the stock market can hold up, which I guess it always is, right? We don't want the stock market dumping, but that's sort of the macro view on the NASDAQ at the moment. Shorter-term time frames, it is what it is. It's going to do its thing, but you want to see it hold this range, man. You want to see it hold this range. Alts just bled all night long. Bled all night long, man. All night long. Liam the macro economist. Where's my macro economist? Where's Liam? Where's Liam? I'm trying to find Liam in here. We always got macro economists in here. Guys, who's a macro economist? Let me know in the chat. Everyone's a macro economist in crypto now. Right? Everyone's a macro economist. I don't pretend to be. I don't know what's going to happen. I just ride the waves. Let's see. You are a paid shill? What? What's Liam saying? I can't find him in the chat. Oh, here he is, Liam. XRP, the standard? Bro, how much longer are you going to hold your XRP bag since 2017? Listen, man, I used to be an XRP fanboy too. I learned, all right? All right. So, let's continue. Everyone's a macroeconomist. People had no idea what the economy even was 6 months ago, and now everyone's a macroeconomist. All right, let's continue on. So, let's see. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything there. Okay. So, continuing on. So, we had the NASDAQ. Let's go look at the DXY. I have always said, like, it's hard to predict the DXY, man. I mean, the only thing that really played out was the bearish divergence, right? You had higher highs and you had lower highs coming in the RSI. That popped you back to the downside. Other than that, I mean, the DXY, we want a sustained downtrend on this. We haven't really seen the correlation with the DXY and Bitcoin just yet, right? DXY has been dropping. Bitcoin's also been dropping. We want to see that inverse correlation. We haven't seen that just yet. But I think what we want to take from this is it's good to see some at least slowdown of the DXY growth. And we want to see a continued downtrend on this. If we can see a continued downtrend on this, that should be good for Bitcoin. But at the moment, I don't try to predict the DXY. I think trying to predict its movements is relatively tough, but it's good to see it on a downtrend there for at least the short term. This could just be a correction, right? It was due for a correction. It had a massive move up from about 95 all the way up to 105 in the span of a few months. So this could just be a slight correction before continue move up. So just always keep that in mind, guys, when it comes to the DXY. I would bet that, at least, and what do we usually know? We love double tops, right? We love M formations. I would at least think that you're going to come up and make a double top, right? Where you have the slight move to the upside, come back down, come back up, come back down. We love the M formations here. I at least probably see at least something like that happening, other than just a complete, just absolute carnage to the downside, right? So I'm still looking for something like that in the DXY. If we come up, make a double top, we start coming back down again, that's when that's going to start looking juicy for me. For now, this could just be a slight correction before a move back to the upside. What's BTC doing? BTC is still chilling below the 50 EMA. Might be waiting for the market open here. Let's see. Jordan's a macroeconomist. Miami Heat in Game 7 with game-winning shot from Eric Spoelstra playing his coach. Eric Spoelstra just catches it and just shoots it. That would be funny. I don't see that happening. Celtics are winning tonight, actually. Are they playing tonight? Hold up. Are the Celtics... I gotta make sure that they're on tonight. If they are, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. Boston Celtics, man. Yep, today 8:30. It's okay. It's okay. You know why? Because they're gonna win anyway. So that's not like I have to watch anyways. Memorial Weekend bloodbath incoming. Oh, jeez, man. We got FUD in the chat. We got some FUD. Let's see. You owe nothing and be happy. All right. Let's continue. So, AVAX. All right. A couple altcoins, man. We sort of said AVAX took its wick. AVAX to me. I still see AVAX coming back down to this. It sounded crazy. It's funny that like 2 days ago, people were saying, oh, AVAX isn't going down there. AVAX isn't going to $13 and $14, which it's still far away from. But, I mean, in 2 days, we said we're going to take this wick, and the next level was about $13 to 13 to 15 bucks. I still see it come back down to that 13, 15 buck range, somewhere in that general range for AVAX as it kind of continues to bleed down here, which would match up with where I see Bitcoin going, right? So if you see Bitcoin going slightly lower, I expect AVAX to go slightly lower. Let's see. Everything is already on sale. Yeah. Talk to me when it's 40K. At that point, man, talk to me when it's 40K. I think the problem with people waiting for levels to buy is, because I see kind of this being passed around Twitter right now. It's like, wait for the market to bounce before you buy. The problem with that strategy is, right, you're gonna get yourself into buying you're gonna get yourself into buying a top, right, and you're gonna get yourself buying a dead cat bounce, right? I see this being passed around, man. I'm seeing, I'm gonna wait till Bitcoin breaks the previous lows. If Bitcoin breaks 36K, that's when I'm gonna buy. I'll tell you right now, what's gonna happen is it's gonna pop back up. It's gonna wick slightly above the previous low, right? You're gonna have all those people saying, I'm gonna wait till it pops up to buy, and then it's gonna come back down, and then you're gonna be stuck holding the bag from up here, which, it is what it is, and that's why I don't really agree with wait till the market bounces to buy. I never agree with that. I think you should be buying red candles, not green candles, always. To me, that's just a dumb freaking way to look at the market, man. You're gonna wait till the market bounces to buy. And even if you do, like, even if you say, I'm going to wait until it buys, and then Bitcoin does come up and it continues up, guess what? Most of the time, you're going to think it's just a dead cat bounce, so you're not going to buy. And it's just going to continue up. And you're not going to be able to buy back in because you're always going to think it's going to come back down lower. Right? So either way, you're kind of screwed with that strategy. We don't know what cheap alts are. We don't know what cheap alts are, man. But yes, that's what Ben Cowan keeps saying. Ben Cowan keeps spamming Twitter with his altcoin FUD, which I agree with, man. I told you guys, I'm not touching altcoins right now. But at some point, I don't agree with the general premise. At some point, you got to pull the trigger on altcoins. And the people that pull the trigger on altcoins and get it relatively close to the bottom are going to be the real winners, right? If you got to pull the trigger at some point. You can't just keep waiting. I'm not saying right now is the right time. I'm not buying altcoins right now. But at the same point, it's like you can't just keep sitting on the sidelines. You got to have some skin in the game to make money, right? At the end of the day. So, I mean, at some point, you got to take a risk, right? Investing is always a risk. I get altcoins are going to continue to bleed against Bitcoin, but at some point, you got to get some skin in the game. And once again, have a plan to be ready for it, right? For me, if you're buying quality alts, right, these prices right now are going to look cheap in a few years. Maybe not cheap right now, as the prices can go lower, in my opinion. But in a few years, I think they'll look cheap. So it's all about how long you can hold for, how much you can stomach red candles, and that's really what it comes down to, in my opinion, right? Let's see. When skin? I don't know. Let's see. I'm seeing what you guys are saying here. Quality alts. Not, I don't know. XRP, the premier stablecoin. It's good for that, I guess. It's good for that. Name some quality alts. ETH, Solana. ETH, Solana, BNB. I mean, you can make an argument on Cardano, right? I'm gonna take the bet on Cardano because I like the community and I like Hoskinson. So I'll take the bet on Cardano there. Polkadot. I'm still an AVAX guy. I know AVAX selling off a lot lately, but I'm still an AVAX guy. Huge Polygon guy. Chainlink, right? You can't go wrong with Chainlink. Chainlink's already lasted through a bear market. And it's not... I mean, I'm not confident on a ton of alts. But I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty confident in like the exchange tokens, like Qcoin. I'd be pretty confident with. I mean, it's not a lot. I'm confident in. Even anything lower than this, it's a roll of the dice. Even like I like Harmony, but even Harmony's a little risky. I like Cadena, but even Cadena's a little risky, right? I mean, there's not many that I think are friggin' high quality. You know what I'm saying? Quality alts, man.
Nope.
Bruh. All right. Other than that, we got the market open at 8 minutes. We're going to see what initially what the market opens in 8 minutos. Looking for those 10x alts. Dude, for me, at least right now, I mean, it's like, if you look at AVAX, for example, its highs were $145, right? And for me, you're not going to get up to these highs for a while, in my opinion. Just to be honest, I don't think we're going to see these highs for quite a hot minute. But if you're a long-term holder and you don't care, right? I mean, you're talking about. I mean, at that point, you're talking about a 7x to get back off the previous all-time highs. That's not even including anything after that, right? So, I mean, you're getting to the point where even the high cap alts, just to get to the previous highs, have significant gains. And if you can stomach the long time it might take, those are going to be the real winners. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Algo. I mean, everyone has different opinions, man. Everyone has different opinions. Let's see. Halving is next year. All right, so let's go back to BTC. So BTC on the hourly got rejected off the 50 EMA. Let's see if it comes back down here. Let's go check out the 15-minute chart. You know we love the 15-minute chart. So we had some vector candles pop up here on the 15-minute chart. What do we know? We usually like to come back down and take those. So we had 2 vector candles pop up right here, right? So you're most likely going to come back down and take that liquidity, most likely. At least this one. At least this one. Right back up here, which everything always seems to coincide with the 50 EMA. So coming back down to take half this candle here is coming back down to the 50 EMA, which is pretty crazy. It always happens to be like that. You know, don't ask me why. You can ask someone else that, but it always seems to be that way. So let's see. We're probably going to come at least back down to take half this candle here. This candle already got recovered by this wick on this previous candle, so we'll see what happens there. It's just short-term time frame stuff. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. But like just for another example, like if you guys are learning this stuff too, like if you guys are following Tino and learning this stuff, hopefully I can help you out a little bit too. You know, you got the move to the upside, but you had some big volume hits, right? You had 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits to the upside, right? 3 vector candles to the upside. If you're coming up on a moving average, like the 50 or the 200, most likely if you're coming up to that, you're going to have the retrace back to take these candles, right? Back to the 50 EMA at the very least, before having the bounce back to the upside, right? At the very, very least. So that makes a lot of sense here, right? And listen, I like to talk this stuff with you guys too, because I'm learning this, and it's fun. It's actually fun to look at and see how it plays out most of the time. 4 hours really not telling me much, like I said, at the moment. So I'm still waiting on the 4-hour time frame. You can make an argument, like if you look at this for BTC, can you make an argument that Bitcoin's like, listen, these patterns really haven't been playing out recently, so I'm not going to take it to the bank or anything. Let's see. I don't think this is even remotely. Like, can you argue Bitcoin's maybe at a longer, you know, at least maybe a little shorter term wedge formation here? You could. The problem is, as we've been seeing, these falling wedges haven't actually break into the downside a lot, because what do we know? In bearish times, these bullish patterns are going to break to the downside more often than not. So I'm not holding my breath on like this playing out, just because we've seen so many of these break to the downside recently. Like we sort of get our hopes up, like, oh my god, a falling wedge, woohoo, we're going to break to the upside. And we don't. We actually break back to the downside instead. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? 50 tells you retail is scared away. It does. It does. Jordan, stop copying Lifer. I don't copy Lifer, man. I don't copy Lifer. First of all, I started my channel before. Second of all, you know, I'm not just looking at stock RSIs, man. Anyways, that's kind of what we're looking at. No offense to Lifer, but I ain't copying Lifer, man. Know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue. Let's continue. He doesn't believe in his wedgies anymore. It's all vector candle theory now. Yeah, I can't believe in my wedgies. I can't believe in the wedgies, man. Mass accumulation zone. True. Let's see. Jabba says wait for 10K. True. True, 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 true. Happy birthday, Jordan, as well. Thank you, man. Jordan Lifer. You guys are too funny, man. We expect a dump before fake out. I don't know about that. So yeah, we did come back down and take half that candle. So we came back down, took half that candle, and now we're kind of waiting to see what we do here. Makes sense, the vector, though. So I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that. Simon, I got you, man. Simon, you know you're trying to trigger me. Simon's good at triggering me. I know he is. He's really, really good at triggering me. I think the only thing that gets me triggered is when people say, stop copying this person. Because it's funny, like, people always say, stop copying this person. Why wouldn't you copy someone if something works, right? I mean, listen, why wouldn't you copy someone if something worked, right? That's the way I look at it. And it's not copying. Everyone on YouTube talks about symmetrical triangles and RSIs and all this stuff, but they're not copying each other. But when I want to talk about something that actually works and not symmetrical triangles and wedgies and all this stuff, it's me copying someone. It makes no sense. But everyone else on YouTube talks about the same shit. Come on, man. Come on, man. Have some common sense here. Have some common sense. Have some common sense. But George said we're going to go pump today. I mean, we are building a good base. We are still building a pretty good base here at about 29K. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Tom? Yeah, but when you're cramming fails for a test, cramming fails for a test and you just got... True, very, very true. Very, very true. Hope you don't do copy trades. No, man. You won't find me doing copy trades. I would rather come on here. You won't find me doing... First of all, you won't find me doing a trading group. Second of all, I'd rather come on here and tell you my predictions. I mean, my predictions are my predictions, and they don't always play out. But I'd rather come on here and tell you what I think for free, okay? And provide value here for free than having some group. That's the way I look at it. But, hey, it is what it is. That's the way I look at it. All right, so let's continue on here. Let's continue on. Jordan copies Java. Copying is not allowed, said my teacher. Listen, you know how many times in high school I copied my friend's homework? Everyone had that one nerdy friend that you always copied their homework every single day. And it was always right before class, right? You always said, yeah, I could tell he was kind of bothered by it too. You always poked him and said, hey, I forgot to do my homework last night. Can I copy yours? And it was always right before class. It was always right before class, right? That's literally what happens every single time. Hey, man, I forgot to do my homework last night. I was so busy. Do you mind if I just look at yours real quick? And you kind of sit there and write with the pencil while you awkwardly keep looking from the paper to the teacher to make sure she doesn't see you copying, right? Paper to the teacher, every single one. Were you bullied in high school? No. That's me. Everyone was that guy. And everyone was the guy that everyone copied. These days we have Google. Facts. That's what I think teachers don't even understand that yet. Oh, you have homework? Okay. Let's see. Jordan got bullied to get his homework done. True. It won't be devalued from trillions of dollars coming in. Impossible. Okay, agree to disagree. True. True. Soul Train, I've been doing the opposite of most. During the we got the market open. Let me shut up and stop talking about pointless stuff here. Let's go look at. We'll start with the S&P. S&P starting to move up a little bit here, a little bit. All right, we're coming up to the 200 1-hour EMA. Can we get back over the 200 1-hour EMA? That's the first question there on the short-term time frames. If we can, maybe we have a slight rally to the upside. Right, so let's watch that on the S&P. We'll wait for the NASDAQ to start moving there. Bitcoin, man. What's Bitcoin doing at the moment? Is it going to come back up, take this wick, and come back to the downside? Let's actually go to the 5-minute chart. We're going to go to the 5-minute. Let's get dirty on here. So the 5-minute time frame, we're coming back up. We have this wick up here to take on the shorter term time frames. Is Bitcoin going to come back up and have the classic W formation again? That's sort of the question. If you go back to the hourly, we're right at the 50 EMA on the hourly, right? So the question is here on the short-term time frames, right? Are you going to have the one hit to the upside, come back, retrace, second hit to the upside, come back, retrace? To me at least, let's see what you're looking at here. To me, at least, I think that could be a possibility, right? Second hit to the upside, retrace back to the downside. We love the W and M formations. So let's see if we come back to the downside. And we still got a vector candle here in the 5-minute we can come back down and take. So we'll watch that very, very closely. Very, very closely. Kids now are cutting schools to listen to Jordan's streams. Hey, I mean, they're better off. They're better off doing that than learning about science, which they're not going to be a scientist. Learning about history, they're not going to be a history, right? They're not going to be a history teacher, most of them, right? The only subject in school that's worth actually learning is math. And I would argue English too, or whatever language you speak. I would argue those are the two subjects that are only worth learning. Science, history, okay, who cares about learning about pilgrims? Right? No one cares about that. And I would also argue that, what's the other subject I'm missing? I'm missing one. I'm missing one main subject. Math, science, history, English. Shiza, what's the last subject? There's 5, isn't there? I think that's science, right? I'm missing something. How do you put those vector candles in TradingView? Trader's reality, man. Trader's reality is the indicator, and you can kind of play around with it and do your own thing, right? Play around with it and do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? Geography. You're missing phys. Oh yeah, phys ed. I would agree. Yes, I actually think that gym and physical education is not actually told about enough. Because listen, man, especially in America, people don't exercise, bro. And exercise is whether it's just walking or lifting weights or going on runs or bicycling. People don't exercise enough. Okay. Exercise that is actually huge for not only your physical but also your mental, man. People don't emphasize exercise enough. I think you can replace science with more phys ed. I think you can replace history with more health, right? Teaching people how to cook, teaching people the right foods to eat, right? Things like that. That's what school should be. Listen, this is just me, but we should be teaching people actual school things instead of these kind of pointless subjects. But that's just me. They need to teach kids the basics of economics and accounting. Yeah, that too. Obviously, that too. Yeah, accounting, finance. Those should be actual subjects and not these subjects that you can learn the basics, but you don't need to take a class every day about history and science. But that's just my opinion. It is what it is. Economics, true. Screw exercise. Eating Nutella and watching TV all day is the way to go. True. And then they wonder why everyone's depressed in this country. It is what it is. Everyone wants to sit down and eat Cheetos on the couch while watching the news. And they wonder why everyone's depressed. It's like, come on, man. I can tell you the root causes of all the issues. English is dumb. True. Carbs turn into sugar, and sugar turns into fat if not burnt off. True. Someone just said blockchain. That's what it is. Oh, God. You're missing lunch? True. True. English is dumb. I mean, you need to learn how to... I think learning how to speak, learning how to write is an important skill. I actually think that reading... I don't know why we're getting into this right now. English class should be more about teaching kids how to speak and be confident in speaking in public rather than reading books and writing papers. Also, my opinion, take it for what you will, but they should be teaching kids more how to speak rather than writing a 20-page paper, which is completely pointless, too. Unless you're going to be a freaking a writer, that doesn't really matter also. So that's also my personal opinion, but, you know, half the people in the world have stage fright nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't teach kids how to have confidence in front of a crowd. What's going on, Soul Train? All right. As we start talking about this, CBTC, see if this still plays out, man. Reading is fundamental. Agree to disagree? I'm out losing brain cells. Hey, man, go learn about your science. When's the last time you did anything involving science? Because public speaking is terrifying. Yeah, man, because everyone just sits on their phone and goes on social media instead of actually interacting. You know what I mean? So when someone tries to have a conversation, they're like, someone goes hi, and they go, he said hi? I said the phone. Right? That's how everyone is. What do I say? What do I say? It's because they don't teach you as a kid what to say, man. They don't teach you how to have conversations. Listen, I used to be like that too. Until I actually got, I got in front of a crowd and started talking. I used to be like that too. Why? Because I taught myself. I'm a self-learner. I taught myself. Right? And because no one teaches you that stuff as a kid. No one. I made beer. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. I'm getting off topic here. S&P continuing moving up. Looks like we are about to pierce that 200 EMA. Just be careful of a slight deviation above. We had a slight deviation above up here, and then that ultimately was the move where it actually came back down back in April. So just be careful of that. But it's at least good to see us testing that. You know, I have comprehension. My buddy is terrified of public speaking. Started a Twitch channel to work on it. Exactly, man. Exactly. Before I started my YouTube channel, I was way more of an introvert, man. Way more of an introvert. I would say I don't know. I don't know what to describe myself as now. But, yeah, I would say, like, just, like, forcing yourself to speak can sometimes get you over that stage fright. You know what I'm saying? Now I can sit up here and talk for hours on end about absolutely nothing. Before, I would struggle to even think about what to talk about. You know what I mean? All right. I just keep getting off topic. So the S&P gets back above the 4-hour EMA. All right, that 50 EMA, which is big. That is a good sign. And you actually have no vector candles to come back down and take, right? So that's actually really good on the S&P, right? And that's good for BTC. That means it doesn't have to come back down and take the wick. And you're also breaking the W formation on the S&P. So this could lead to potentially more upside for the S&P. If we actually take the swing low to the swing high, and we actually extrapolate that to the upside, and move this back to the upside like this, we can see that the measure move is all the way up to like 43.87. That's a pretty good move for the S&P, at least for a retrace. which should lead to Bitcoin having a slight retrace, right? That is a pretty interesting phenomenon there. Interesting phenomenon. Bitcoin slightly coming up as the S&P comes up too. What's the NASDAQ up to? NASDAQ, sometimes the NASDAQ takes a, I don't know why it does this on my chart, man. Let me actually go back to this one here. This one here. There we go. 1930. So we'll see what this one does. This one looks like it's coming up a little bit here. This one's coming up to test the 50 EMA as well. So we want to see that. We want to see both the S&P and the NASDAQ above 50 EMA. If you do, you might see a slight retrace back to the upside. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. Work. So what do you think of the gap in ETH from 1/2/2021 at 782 to 955? I mean, listen, there's a lot of gaps and vector candles on the daily chart for ETH that it hasn't came back down and taken, right? Doesn't mean they don't always have to come back to those levels, right? They don't always have to. But there is a lot still back here that we can come back down and take, especially for, even for more so for Bitcoin, actually, right? I mean, there's vector candles all the way back down to $300 for Ethereum, right? If you actually go back and look at the charts, you can find daily vectors that were never came back and taken, like all the way back down here from like $200 to $300. You can find some. So listen, man, you're going to have gaps. You're going to have vector candles to the downside that never get filled, right? You could probably go all the way back to when ETH was like $1 and find some, right? So, you know, it's not a perfect science, and case in point, you know, why they shouldn't teach science. But yeah, so, you know, it doesn't mean you have to come back down to those levels. What I'll say for ETH, if, you know, we got the W formation on Ethereum, you got the higher lows and the lower lows on the RSI, right? And you're starting to build a green candle. We want to see this candle close green. This candle closes green. You got some bullish divergence on Ethereum. And this is going to be the point where some altcoins start to get a little bit of a bump back up. But it obviously comes down to big bad boy Bitcoin at the moment, which right now is kind of just chilling at 29.2. Still just in this general range here. Some gaps never get filled. Facts. Facts. What are you saying in here? Oh my gosh, what's going on in the chat, man? Let's see. ETH continuing to prove itself as an alt. I mean, it's we can look at ETH BTC. Yes, it did break this downtrend, but if you look at ETH, I mean, really since September 2019, it's an absolutely crushed Bitcoin, right? I mean, you can look at a bunch of different altcoins that can't say the same, right? Let's go look at I don't know. We can look at anything. Let's look at Solana. I mean, a lot of these altcoins weren't even around back then, so it's hard to really tell. A lot of these altcoins are only around really during the bull market. Like Solana was only around during the bull. Like it really started to pump in December 2020. You know, so it's hard to really tell what's going to happen with this one. So that's not really a good example, I guess. What's a better example? Let's go look at like Link BTC. It's a good example because Link has been around forever, right? Link BTC, which also has been outpacing Bitcoin for majority of time. And this is sort of my thought process in this too. It's like, if you have the conviction to hold alts, I understand, like, and for myself, like I'm in BTC and ETH, but if you can have the conviction to hold altcoins, they outperform Bitcoin over the longer term time frames, right? It's just if you can handle them just getting absolutely destroyed for a year usually against BTC, you're gonna be okay. But can you handle that just absolute annihilation against BTC? That's sort of the case. Because if you look at a lot of altcoins versus Bitcoin, they have outperformed Bitcoin significantly over history, right? Now, is Chainlink going to come all the way back down to these 2017 lows? Probably not. Is ETH going to go all the way back down to its lows? Probably not. I mean, you can go back and look. Even the decimation that you've gotten with altcoins, which I think can still continue, don't get me wrong, I think it is going to continue. If you can hold long enough, let's go look at Cardano Bitcoin, right? Still in an uptrend. Now, Cardano Bitcoin's a little bit closer to the lows, but was it going to come all the way back down to the lows is the question. If it doesn't, it's still just making higher lows and continuing up over time. It's just a matter of can you hold through the absolute 90+% carnage that usually comes in bear markets, right? That's sort of the thought process there. And we can go through pretty much all of them, man. I mean, BNB, BTC, right? Despite the carnage, I mean, look at the BNB BTC chart. Despite the carnage, right? You'd be better off holding BTC, buying it BNB over BTC over the long term, and that's just what this chart says, right? I mean, you can look at really any of them. You can look at AVAX BTC, right? Over the long term, yes, it's coming down now. Yes, it can come lower, which I think it will. But over the long term, you're better off holding AVAX than BTC, despite the carnage you've seen. Right? Right? I mean, it has its ups and downs. I mean, it is what it is. The only one that's probably not is your good friend XRP, which you guys know my thoughts on XRP. XRP Bitcoin, which is, I mean, even XRP, which, you know, it's historically has kind of been an underperformer recently. Even XRP just going sideways against BTC, right? Nothing crazy. Wait some months and BNB will be destroyed. True. Let's see. Who doesn't hold their investments for over a year at least? Probably 99% of people in crypto, man. you're underestimating the capabilities of people to hold their investments. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people invest money they can't afford to lose, so they're forced to sell. You know, everyone hears the saying only invest what you can afford to lose, but not everyone follows that. Okay, you know, and everyone has a different dollar amount and percentage of their savings, which is how much money they can afford to lose. Everyone lives a different life, right? So, there's nothing wrong with. I think a common misconception is that you should just hold no matter what. There's obviously scenarios in life where you shouldn't just hold, right? You got it's a life to life basis, but there are scenarios where it's okay to sell, man. And I think that kind of gets swept under the rug sometimes. My opinion is if you invest money you can afford to lose, then I mean, trying to time tops and bottoms is usually a losing strategy. But you know, who am I? I'm just a pleb. But it's okay to sell sometimes, right? Let's see. Hold Luna no matter what. Oh, jeez. Obviously, not everything, man. Not everything. All right, guys. I'm gonna just about call it a stream here. Nasdaq looking to come up and test the 50 EMA. S&P actually getting a pretty good move up here, right? The 4-hour 50 EMA is breached for the first time since April 20th. So we're talking over a month since the S&P has been back over that 4-hour 50 EMA. So not too shabby there. It's a pretty good move there. You know, historically, when you break back above that 50, you usually come up and at least test the 200. So can this be the point where the NASDAQ gets a rally, holds up Bitcoin for a little bit? Let's see. But yeah, we got to see what happens tonight. So I'll catch you guys later. All right. I will catch you guys at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys are there. If you guys could like the video before you go, it's always appreciated. Appreciate you guys coming out here every single day and just, I mean, coming out here and listen to me rant and look at the charts the best I can. Like I said, I'm still learning a lot of this stuff that I'm looking at, and if it sounds confusing, trust me, it sounds confusing to me at some point as well. You know, I'll try to do a better job of explaining what I'm looking at. I think that sometimes I get caught up, and I think everyone's this expert and knows what I'm talking about, and I understand that you're not. So, catch you guys later. Have a fantastic day. I'll catch you guys at 7. All right, make sure you guys are there. Don't stare at the charts all day. Don't panic sell your crypto. And most of all, don't panic sell your crypto unless you need the money. Okay? unless you need that money for bills. Don't be defaulting on any bills because you didn't sell your crypto. It's not what you want. All right, catch you guys later. Adios, guys. Peace.